Hey everyone, welcome back to AI with Pallavi. Ready to learn another AWS service in just 10 minutes? Let's get started. Let's learn AWS CloudFormation. Now, this is one service which actually helps you to spin up multiple AWS services just within a minute, right? And you just have to ensure that you're writing the right configuration. So let's get started and understand what is AWS CloudFormation. This is infrastructure as code service. Yes, you don't have to actually create the services on console, but you can just write the code, deploy the stack, and your services will be created. What does it mean is you can create a template like in YAML or JSON, and that template will be versioned, will be having the details of all your like resources, and then you can just deploy it. Now, what you deploy, that entity is called as stack. So one template deployed becomes one stack, tracked as a single unit to create, update, or delete those resources. Now, let's say you have already created some resources, but you want to change something in that. Then you create change sets, right? Even if you, before you make any change to the existing stack, you need to create some change sets. What you have within the stack or the template is parameters and outputs. Those are the outputs, or so parameters is something basically what you add while creating the template. Let's say you want to add a reference to a specific stack name, you want to add some more details, so those will be the parameters, and output will be what you get, the resource details, right? Now you can have nested and cross-track infrastructure as well. If you have a big infra to manage, you can create multiple stacks which are referenced within each other. Drift detection. If there are any manual changes in a particular resource, CloudFormation also helps you to track that. So that's how easy it is to create CloudFormation. How it actually works, you just have to create or use an existing template, save it locally or in S3 bucket, then use AWS CloudFormation to create a stack based on your template. It actually create all the resources for that, right? Now, how does it works when you have to update? You are editing the template, you're saving it locally or in a S3 bucket, then you use AWS CloudFormation to generate a change set. What this change set contains is it contains the details of what all resources have changed from the initial template, right? And once you approve that, okay, this was a lambda function name before, if you have changed the lambda function name, or you have changed the code, or you have changed the permissions, all the resources present in that stack which have changed will be listed on the change set. You approve or deny or make further changes, and then you deploy the stack. So after that, the changes will be deployed. So that's how you actually create a CloudFormation template. Now, there are multiple sections within CloudFormation template which you should actually know. Like there is a resources section, there is parameter section. So you should know all of these, and super important, right? Let's look at few of those. So when I'm saying resources section, this is what it means. Like you give the resource name, whether it's JSON or YAML, you give the logical ID, for example, a service name, resource properties, right? There can be physical ID, so that's how you can create it. Or you can have lambda function attachment. So there are multiple things which you can create within the resources. Parameters, right? If you want to give any specific parameter, some values that can be added in parameters. Output is something which you get, right? CloudFormation give you the output logical ID, like what it actually means. So we'll see how we can create a simple CloudFormation template, and it will be seen there. But even before going there, right? So major things you should know is templates, then stacks, change sets, parameters and output, nested and cross stack references, and drift detection. Let's look at the example, right? If you have a template and if you have changed, right, something in the template, let's say artist instance class from dbt3.medium to dbt3.large, if this has changed, you can see what actually happens. If you see the first one, right, modify, it will just use the modify no replacement, because there is already a way how an instance class can be changed, right, from t3 medium to t3 large. But if you would have changed any of the properties of that instance, right, a name or something, then it might require replacement. So the old one will be deleted, new one will be created. or security group rule taken out of template, then it would have been removed. So these are certain examples of how things changes when you're using CloudFormation templates. There are specific use cases you should also know, like if you have multiple environments, dev, test, UAT, and others, and you just want to use same kind of configuration and resources there, you just create one template, right? Deploy it into three, do the testing as and when you mature the template, and it would be very easy to replicate the details in different environments. Disaster recovery, so this is one of the major use case, how you can recreate an entire app in a new region in case of DR strategy. Guardrails deployed to every new account. If you want that all the new resources created in your accounts, right? If you're an organization managing different accounts, you want certain guardrails to be present always. So you can just deploy those guardrails using CloudFormation. Then change sets reviewed like a pull request. So this is super useful. Like if anything has changed in the template, if someone is deploying, you can actually first ensure that it is protected. Also you can review that, right? So it's like you always review what you're changing in your existing infrastructure. Now let's quickly look at some different template examples as well. So this is one section you should definitely check out in CloudFormation documentation, where it provides different template snippets. Just for example, for IAM it has a template, for Lambda it has template, for S3, SNS, all of these have templates, right? If I go ahead and look at some Lambda template, so let's look. Right. These are some Lambda templates where you can add security groups, how a Lambda function is created, runtime mentioned, EC2 instances, Lambda rules. So all of those things are mentioned. There are multiple templates which you can actually go ahead and look at. Some general templates samples are also there, like base 64 encoded user data property. So some samples are already there which you can go ahead and start using. How does this look in the CloudFormation console? Right. So important thing here is there is an infrastructure composer already present which you can use. Let's say if I want, right now my template is empty, right? So if I add API gateway, okay, I want to create an API gateway with these parameters, and let's say I give some details. If I want authorizer, I can add it. If I want to add root, course, and all those features of API gateway. If you don't know API gateway, do check out the playlist. We already have a video for API gateway. Now you see the template is filled, right? Either you can edit the template here or using the canvas itself. Now let's say I should also create one S3 bucket. So I also want an S3 bucket to be created as part of this template. So you will see the bucket details are uploaded. So you don't have to manually write the template these days. It already provides you multiple features. If I further want to create an SNS topic, okay, I create an SNS topic, and let's say I want to trigger this SNS topic from my bucket. So I want to establish a connection, right? So all the services which can be interlinked, that is also added. So I have an SNS topic, I can choose a topic name, right? Let's say S3 topics. This would be the topic name which I can add. So that's how easy it is to create the resource. And if you see the template here, in this case, let me save this. If I see the template, you can see in S3 section, right, there's a bucket created and there is a notification section also. There are topic configurations. Now the topic, you can see this is the name of the topic, S3 topic. So I didn't write any specific section for this, but I just linked that using the infrastructure composer and I was able to do it. Similarly, this is the topic which I'm creating. This is the resource, right, which I'm talking about. This is the type of the resource, SNS topic, and I'm adding some permissions there. So it automatically understood that I have to add the permission, also the bucket name and all those details. So if you want to modify anything in that, you can do it. If you want to look at JSON, YAML, that's also possible. So that's how easy to create a CloudFormation stack. Let's also see how it actually works. You create a template, a change set is generated. If all resources succeed to create, stack reaches complete state. If a resource fails, it has automatic rollback triggers and it goes to the last known good state. Now let's also see the decisions, right, which you need to know while you are actually going for an exam. CloudFormation versus Terraform. Now, CloudFormation is very AWS native. This is one of the common questions and one of the common issues which people also have. Now, Terraform, it's multi-cloud, explicit state file you manage, larger community module ecosystem across providers. So, Terraform is generic. Many people use Terraform, and CloudFormation is AWS native. Similarly, CloudFormation versus CDK. In CloudFormation, you write YAML, JSON templates. In CDK, you write actual code. Yes, you can just write a code and your resources can be created that way. What is the difference between stack versus stack set? Stack, one template deployed to one account and region. Stack set deploys the same stack across many accounts and regions from a single operation. So you don't even have to replicate one by one. It can be created automatically. Then change set, right? Versus direct update. It's very important to have change set because you can preview then execute. Direct update, it directly applies the updates. Deletion policy, retain versus delete. Retain means keep a resource like S3 bucket or disk snapshot even after the stack is deleted. Delete by default tears the resources down along with the rest of the stack. Now, drift detection versus stack policy, this is also important. Drift detection actually finds changes that already happened outside the CloudFormation, right? If you have changed, let's say, API route, integration, or anything, it should be detected here. Stack policies prevent certain resources from being changed or deleted during an update in the first place. So, this is a proactive measure to identify that no one changes your resources created by CloudFormation. So that is all about CloudFormation. Go ahead, create your first stack, explore the infrastructure composer, and you're ready to go. And just like that, you have learned another AWS service in 10 minutes. Hit that subscribe button if you like this video and comment if you have any questions related to this service or if there is any service you want me to focus next. Happy learning!